Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basement Monsters Game Day podcast on Sports Zone Chicago. The Super Bowl is set. The Super Bowl is set. It shall be Chiefs Bucks in Tampa Bay for it all, and the Chiefs had won tonight. Well, they haven't won yet. It's 2 minutes left, but it's all but one. Man, there was a crazy moment where I thought the Bills were going to get back-to-back onside kicks, which would have made it, which would have made it even more interesting. But you know what? We talked about this just off air, Luke. Like the Bills, you have to score touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the field goal before the half was okay, but then you let an opportunity slip come the second half, and we said the third quarter was when you need to strike. They weren't able to do that. They settled to a field goal in the red zone. You can't win like that against the Chiefs.
Yeah, and the surprising thing is that it seems like the Chiefs' defense is getting a little better and better every game.
Man,
they were back there. They were on it. They were on Allen all game long. So I mean, props to them. But like I said, I still feel like Buffalo is their own worst enemy. Just like I said, like we talked off air. It's like they can't run the ball, man. And when you become one dimensional, it's easy to stop guys, even if you do have a cannon like Josh Allen. But I think Buffalo will address that in the offseason. And Buffalo's going to be back in the playoffs next year, so they're just too good at this point. I mean, if they get another weapon on receiving, and then they can get somebody that can actually run and tote the rock 20 to 25 times a game, I think they'll be just fine. Well,
I agree with you. I just feel like Buffalo's lacking in one area on offense, and it's the area where you can't. It's the area where you're able to keep Mahomes off the field if you're able to convert short yardage without having to go to the air and stopping the clock so many damn times. You keep the clock going, you shorten the game.
Yeah.
I still feel there were just one touchdown, one mistake, one more successful play in the red zone away from making this very interesting at the end. Because, like I said, even before that second onside, if the first onside they score, and let's say they had scored a touchdown instead of a field goal that made it 15. Let's say they score a touchdown and 7. So now you have a 19 to, I believe it was a 20. You make it close. I think you make it like a 7-point game. I have to look at the box to really break it down. But you bring it within a reasonable comeback margin.
Mm-hmm.
You bring it within 8 or 9 points. You can't settle. And I think adding a running back really helps you. It really helps Josh Allen. He's all right. Like he's really good. He's really talented. But you could tell he's still young, and you need to continue to build around him to help him out. Running back is probably their number one priority going to the draft, or a bunch of running backs, like more options. I think they have Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, but I think adding another one maybe in the second or third round, maybe I think there's an address. There needs to be a pass rush address for the Buffalo Bills. Maybe add to secondary. I think the secondary played okay. I didn't think they played terrible. I just think you need the offense to match.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, you got to keep Mahomes off the field. I mean, the less amount of times he's on the field, the less points go up on the scoreboard. So, if you can't. And their offense can just put up points so quick because they have three guys that run like 4.3 40s or something. It's crazy.
Well, Tyreek Hill is damn near uncoverable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they couldn't cover the middle of the field with Buffalo. I mean, they were just getting gashed by Kelsey. It's like no matter what, he could pick and choose. Like, do I want to go 10 yards deep, 20 yards, 15, 30? They couldn't stop him.
And the score is final 38-24. Kansas City over Buffalo. Buffalo, Buffalo and Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills as a team and the Buffalo Bills fans, thank you for an entertaining.
Yeah,
I got to say the least. You know, even though I'm a Bears fan, I like good football, and I'll say this: Buffalo's playing good football right now. They're missing some things, obviously, but that team's on the rise, and I like their quarterback. Something that Jim Nantz and Tony Romo said. Josh Allen is Buffalo. Like he's a part of the city. He represents the city, I guess. Like it's crazy how a quarterback can embody a city, being that young and just coming from where he went, where people were writing him off, to where he is now. You can tell there's still more work to be done, but adding playmakers shouldn't be hard for a team that wants to win, in a city that wants to win, and an ownership that wants to win.
Oh yeah, those fans up in Buffalo, man, they've been dying for something like this.
Right, right.
I know they had a lot of hope.
Hey, I was shooting for Buffalo Cleveland.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
You know how wild that shit would have been? Buffalo Cleveland, one of them was going.
Right.
And if it wasn't for a mistaken, I guess, containment, or maybe I don't know, if it wasn't for a Chad Henne, the anything is possible miracle run.
All right.
We could be talking about the Browns Bills, and one of them going, but it wasn't to be. The Chiefs did what they had to do. They did what they had to do today. They'll be moving on, and they'll be facing Tom Brady. And I think this is the true matchup, because people were talking about, I don't know, talking crazy about. And Aaron is great in his own right. Aaron Rodgers is great in his own right. Don't get me wrong. Tom's the GOAT. We're talking about Tom being the GOAT, trying to go out like this game right here is really, if you look at it, Tom versus Pat, this could be the changing of the guard game.
Right.
In the NFL, this could be it. You know what I'm saying? If Tom wins, does he really have to play next year? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Tom, if you win, do you want to play next year, or is this what you wanted to do to prove your point, and you're going to spike the ball on your way out of the league because you just shredded it? I don't know. I feel like this one's going to be very, very fun. That defense for the Bucs, we saw it today.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna have to win it this year. Maybe some of the guys come back, but we have a lot of guys that are free agents after this year, including Levante David, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette. There's a bunch of guys that are free agents. So, I would imagine if Tom comes back, those guys probably come back. Maybe minus Shaq Barrett. I don't know. Maybe they may try to get him again. I don't know. But you definitely want. If I'm Tampa, I'm doing anything I can to keep Levante David, because that. With him and Devin White, I mean that's an awesome linebacking core right there.
I'll say this: they do a good job at finding pass rushers. They do a really good job at finding pass rushers. Can you really sacrifice a middle linebacker that controls the defense like he does? I don't know. I think you have two generational linebackers in the middle of your 3-4 defense. Like it's. Potentially, potentially generational, maybe just really, really good. But I feel like Devin White could be one of those dudes. I feel like Devin White could be talked about as the top linebacker for maybe a decade. Like he's right, yeah. He's Roquan Smith, and Roquan Smith is really beginning to shine, and I feel like he got snubbed, and so did Devin White this year. But, man, some of the things that the dude does, and he's a rookie, it's just like, man, he plays with aggression, speed, just anger, and he's smart. He's not just reckless out there with his aggression. He knows where he needs to be positionally, and he gets the job done. And dude, I'm telling you, when A.J. Dillon, after that big run by him where he carried the dude on his back, the tackle by Devin White in the middle, in the hole,
yeah,
like it went contact, boom, head on, and then he fought, and then he had to fight, came back around with his arm, and just kept holding on until he dragged him to the ground. That was straight up, I'm gonna take your ass down. There's nothing you could do about it. And you saw AJ Dillon strong as an ox.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Strong as an ox, and he just muscled him down. It was this game Bucks Chiefs is going to have I think it's going to be fireworks, man. I really think it's going to be fireworks, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, me too. My only thing is I don't know, with all that speed. I mean, the Kansas City, all three of those guys, that could first of all, we got to make sure Whitehead comes back, and then hopefully we could get Winfield back by then. And keep that defense solid back there instead of having some, second string guys in, especially against a team like Kansas City that can just, throw the ball down the field whenever they feel like it. If that secondary can hold tough for Tampa, I like Tampa's chances, but that's the one thing I don't want Tampa to do is I don't want them to get into a shootout with Kansas City just because, I know Tampa has a couple, 2 or 3 receivers that are great too, but man, Kansas City, you're trying to keep up with them in a points match. A lot of teams fall short, and I'd rather Tampa be able to run the ball a little bit and keep Patrick off the field as much as possible and squeak out a tight one. But at the same time, I don't want it to be a boring 7-7 game. But you don't want to give Patrick too many chances. And like we always talk about, it's going to come down to getting the touchdown rather than the field goal.
Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, Bruce Arians, even like Bruce with his crazy ass.
Yeah.
Big Bruce. It's gonna be fun, man. I'm looking forward to this just because you can pretty much, like I said before, draw the line. This is it. Like I feel like this is it. This will be we talked about the influx of new quarterbacks. We talked about this new breed coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tom's the last of the dying breed, man. Like he's the OG. Right now, this is Tom versus Pat, and part of me feels like we're gonna get. I call that Atlanta New England game probably the best Super Bowl I've ever seen. Honestly, to God, I really do. I think this one might match. I think this one.
I hope so, man.
I think this one might match, and it doesn't. Mind you, it doesn't need to go to overtime.
No,
it just needs like the one before that. The one before, like the Super Bowl, I could say are my top 2, and I'll just give you top 2 because outside of that, I'm like, I'll probably. Oh, okay, maybe okay. I'll give you top 3. Top 3. I got that game. I have the Titans and the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the David Tyree.
Yeah. On the helmet catch. Yeah.
I mean, what more can you ask for? Like that was those probably in my lifetime are the best ones I can remember by far. But as far as gameplay, you know what I'm saying? As far as the play on the field, it has to be the Tennessee St. Louis. What I say, Tennessee St. Louis, and I said David Tyree, Giants Patriots, and then it was that Patriots Falcons game. Top 3 in my opinion. I feel like this one could beat it, dude. Like they have what more can you want? A fast defense that could probably keep up if their safeties are healthy. You have Tom Brady, you have Pat Mahomes, you have arrogant head coach. You got Andy Reid's lovable ass. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
That game's gonna totally come down to just like who could commit the least amount of mistakes. Turnovers are gonna be huge in that game. Like we can't be having this three interceptions. They got lucky today, threw 3 interceptions and dodged Aaron Rodgers. So you don't want to be given, like I said, it's gonna put Pat Mahomes back on the field. So. Those turnovers are going to be crucial, and it's going to go both ways. I mean, Brady can hurt you too. So I mean, if Kansas City turns it over, they've got to watch their ass too. So it's going to be a real interesting game. I mean, I like the way Tampa matches up. The secondaries would be my only real concern, just because those guys are all young. They're pretty much about all 23 years old or average 23 years old back there. So they don't have big game experience. I mean, they're getting it now. They've won 2 playoff games, so and they're the road. They won all their games on the road. So now they're going home, so they should be pumped for that. I mean, they don't have to travel. Like there's a lot that comes with being able to play at home. You don't have to travel. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have you just go home, relax pretty much, and then just drive to the stadium. So that's going to help out huge. And then them playing in the warm weather, I imagine will probably help them as well.
We get to do a Super Bowl show, and it's going to be a fun one. Not that we weren't going to do a Super Bowl show anyway, but we get to do a Super Bowl show where we have some of our fans, some of the people that watch are interested. Millie, some of you, your friends from KC.
Mm-hmm.
You got your team in the Bucks. It's going to be fun, man. Tom Brady versus Pat Mahomes. Like I'm looking forward to this more than I would have looked forward to Packers Chiefs. I really think this one is the one that we deserve because look how they played. Look how they played in this game. We talked about the game before the game. We talked about this being more entertaining than the Super Bowl at times. And I guess in game one's case it was. In game two, you kind of knew what it was at a certain point. In game one with Bucks Packers, you just saw the Packers show up late. You know what I'm saying? Just too little, too late. I just feel like, the Bucks have all the means for an upset because I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are going to come in favored. But
yeah, they probably should.
Can you get that running game going? They did a good job at protecting Tom for the most part, but Tom needs to understand you cannot throw that shit up. Stop thinking you could just sling that shit 60 yards. Stop that, Tom. Stop that, Tom. Like you gotta eat it. You gotta eat it sometimes, and that means taking a sack or just dumping it up. Like I'm not gonna. Tom he knows he's Tom Brady. I don't have to tell Tom, but hey, maybe you have to think, Tom. Take the sack.
Yeah.
Don't force it.
Yeah.
Those 3 picks, the Packers were out of it, and those 3 picks brought them right back in.
Yep.
So you got to think about it. Tom needs to protect the ball. Casey's been doing a good job at that. Well, minus that special teams fumble today, but I'm sure Hardman had a talking to. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. We got a Super Bowl show to plan, party/show. So it's gonna be fun, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready to watch it, man. Like I said, I just hope it turns out. I don't want to see a blowout either direction.
Shit right now. Even right now, you're nervous. They haven't even announced. Like they haven't even said anything about what the festivities are going to be like or anything. And right now, you're sitting nervous as shit. I would be too.
It's like I said, we're going to have to be able to run the ball. Period. That's what it's going to come down to. Because Brady could go, but we also need to. We're not just playing Mahomes. We're also playing the clock. So we gotta run that clock. We gotta keep him off the field as much as possible, man. He's just too damn good to give him extra. By turnover or 3 and outs. The more times you put him on the field, the more the chance that they score points. So it's going to be very interesting, man. It's a really good defense against a really good offense, and let's see who comes up.
Yeah, let's see. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm tired. I'm probably going to have one more beer and watch the Lord of the Rings, start that, see what happens. I like to start epics at like midnight and shit. So it leads into the next night. I'm a night owl.
Right.
So I'm going to end up watching half of it and then pass out and get ready for Sean and Maya in the morning.
Yeah.
I wake up. So we'll see. All right, man. Hey, congrats. Like I said again, Luke, Bucks win. It's gonna be an interesting Super Bowl. Bucks Chiefs. Whew. Tom versus Pat. This is what I wanted. It would have been fun, I guess, kinda, sorta, with the Packers, but this is more like it. All right, guys. See you later. Peace.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.